Welcome to the Rhonda Effect, the podcast dedicated to helping entrepreneurs like you harness the power of intuition and deepen your connection with spirit. I'm your host, Rhonda Ardent, and this is your space to stepping into your power and unleashing the extraordinary potential within you. In a world where understanding the unseen has never been more crucial, we're embracing the age of intuition and awakening to the profound guidance that lies just beneath the surface. Each week, we'll explore how you can strengthen your intuitive abilities, deepen more connection with spirit, and navigate your entrepreneurial journey with clarity and confidence. It's time to awaken to the possibilities, trust your inner wisdom, and transform your life and business from the inside out. Join me on the Rhonda Effect as we embark on this incredible journey together. So let's dive in and discover the power of intuition. Well, welcome to the Intuition Unplugged podcast. Oh, I'm so excited today. But before we begin, the Intuition Unplugged podcast is sponsored by the Build It Big Network. Today, we have an incredible guest with us who will inspire you to plug in and listen to their intuitive journey at work, rest, and play. As well as my guest today will have the opportunity for a live angel card reading. And that's where the things always heat up and the truth always unfolds. Well, hello, listener land, and I am Rhonda, an intuitive who channels messages from spirit in the forms of what I like to call downloads. These downloads are information that I share with my intuitive coaching clients across North America and sometimes on my podcast. I never know when a download will come over me, and that's what makes this space so interesting. We are live and unedited, and I think it's about time to begin. In today's episode of the Intuition Unplugged, I am pleased to welcome Gina Hendricks, who has revolutionized the world of bespoke matchmaking and one of the most sought after and acclaimed matchmakers on the planet. Since launching her premier matchmaking service in 2008, Gina has been transforming the love lives of billionaires and high-profile bachelors with her unparalleled personalized service. Based in Los Angeles, Gina works globally and exclusively with the world's most affluent and discerning men, helping them find their perfect partners with a 98% success rate. Her clients, often referred through exclusive channels, trust her to find women of exceptional integrity, credibility, and authenticity. Gina's intuitive understanding of her clients' desires and her ability to create perfect matches have made her the go-to matchmaker for globally significant men for the past 16 years. Her reputation for integrity and her innate talent for reading people have led to the countless happy customers of whom Gina have worked with, and they're thankful for Gina and her ability. Beyond matchmaking, Gina is a highly recognized radio host, public speaker, panelist, and author of 2 insightful books, Stop Being a Bitch and Get a Boyfriend, and her latest, The Greatest Manhunt, Access and Attract that guy every woman wants. She shared her expertise on major outlets like Entertainment Tonight, E!, Extra, and in renowned publications including People, Forbes, Men's Health, GQ, and Glamour. But Gina's contributions don't stop at matchmaking. She is a passionate philanthropist dedicated to helping animals in need through her organization, Models in Mutts, and giving back to her community in numerous ways. With over 43,000 followers on Instagram and 147,000 on TikTok, Gina's influence and dedication are undeniable. Today, she'll share the secrets of her incredible success and much more. So get ready for an inspiring and enlightening conversation with the one and the only Gina Hendricks. Welcome, Gina.
Wow.
It's so great to have you.
Even I'm sick of hearing all that about myself. Okay.
You know, it's absolutely beautiful. It is. It's really beautiful that you have made such an impact on the world. And, you know,
I care deeply is the thing. You know, I care deeply about people, and it's just, I don't know how to do it another way.
That's right. That's right. Well, you're doing an amazing job. Totally amazing. But, you know, the first question I know my listeners and viewers are thinking is, how did your intuition lead you to begin this journey of matchmaking?
You know, I guess, so I typically call it passion, but I think perhaps passion is also intuition. So, you know, when I've always followed my passions. That's kind of, and maybe it's intuition, but, you know, in the early days growing up in Memphis, I was obsessed with wanting to move to Los Angeles. And I'm not going to go into this long story, but it is pretty cool. I was cocktailing the lobby bar of the Peabody. Again, always obsessed with Los Angeles as a kid, begging my mom to move here.
Wow.
And I was going to college, cocktailing in the lobby bar of the Peabody Hotel in Memphis. And one day, is it intuition? Perhaps. But all of a sudden I went, hey, ticket counter for Delta Airlines. I wonder if they have a base in Los Angeles. So I went over there, and sure enough, they did have a base in Los Angeles. I put my application in. I was the last person out of training to get based in LA. And then when I was a flight attendant, I loved fashion. And, you know, I've always been somebody who does connect and listen to my inner voice, for sure, 100%. And it does guide me. And so I became a celebrity wardrobe stylist and did that for 10 years. And then this passion, again, I'm calling it passion, but maybe it is intuition. This passion, took over, and I became very interested in the dating space and how people meet and connect. And I just decided to take a leap of faith and go all in on it. I mean, it wasn't that easy. It took a while, but I commit. I sort of get this burning thing that says, go this way. And I do, and I leap all in, because I do think that, like, again, with passion or intuition, I think you have to fully commit and go all in order for it to really work.
Yes. Yes. I like to call that following the breadcrumb, because from what you just told me, you had quite the journey and the breadcrumbs, and you actually took those steps where some people don't.
I agree.
Wow, that's amazing. That's
Thank
amazing. You. Have you ever had an opportunity to follow your intuition when you are matchmaking, and you have the chance to either follow your intuition or do like a knee-jerk reaction and go, okay, no, this is something different. We've got to do something over here. Have you ever had that happen to you?
I think I have it happen all the time, you know, where it's the client, you know, and it's men who hire me, and it's women who work with me. And I create another way for women to work with me, but it's more through coaching, and I help women all over the world. But men are the ones who specifically hire me for matchmaking. And there are times where they really, really want to meet a specific woman, but maybe she's filled out a profile, she's in the database, but I haven't done a Zoom or either met her in person yet. And they're excited to meet her, but then I go and meet her first. And then I go, this isn't what we had hoped or thought it was going to be. And she's not going to be right for you. You know, but the thing is, also, my guys don't always listen to me. They want to do what they want to do. That's the hardest part about matchmaking. I wish they would always listen to me, but they don't. So
I bet.
But I do. But again, if I'm emphatic about it, or there's times where I've said to a client, because if he says, no, I don't want to meet her, I said, you know what? go and meet her because I have a really good feeling about this. And if you go and meet her and you just don't like her and she wasn't as I said she was going to be, then I won't even count that introduction against you, because then it allows them to trust me more, to give me that wiggle room instead of being so
Yes.
and I've never had to fulfill that promise of not counting the introduction against them, because I'm usually right about it. Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Love it. And that's when you can say, yes, job well done. Check, followed it, knew it, and they trusted you enough to actually go with what you were saying. But like you said,
Yeah.
there are some that probably go against the grain and they find out later that they shouldn't have done that. But
Sure. Absolutely. Like when I tell people, don't go backwards. I don't believe in going backwards to people, because if it doesn't work out the first time, going back, same people, same problems. And I had a guy that just re-signed up with me because he went back to somebody and he said, Gina, you were right. I shouldn't have gone backwards. I'm like, oh no. Anyway.
How many times have you wanted to say those words? I told you so.
A lot.
Yeah. I love it. I love it. I want to know more about your books. I find them very, very interesting. Tell me, how did you, you must have had something drop in you and say, okay, it's time for a book. And you wrote your first book.
Well, no.
And then came the second.
You're going to find out something even more interesting that I haven't talked about before. So
I
actually have a book that I wrote first that I've done nothing with, that was literally, talk about downloading. It was just all downloaded. And it was basically about how and I came up with all these things that, like, it was about how to reset your beliefs, habits, and blocks based on all these different things. I mean, talk about being downloaded. And so it downloaded to me, and it wasn't necessarily about dating, but it was about how the reinvention, because I do believe there's a point in all of our lives. And listen, I'm a good example, right? I've reinvented myself 3 different times, but, that we come to a crossroads where we're in a rut and we need to reinvent ourselves. And so the book I wrote, but here's the weird thing, Rhonda. I wrote this thing in 2000, maybe 10 or 2011. And do you know, I think about it all the time, and I've revisited it over the years. But the problem is when you don't run with it right away. So I wrote it, I edited it, but it was so kind of close to my journey. For some reason, I didn't release it. And so periodically, every few years, I go, I want to revisit the book. And then I go into revisit it, and things have changed. And then I start tweaking with it. So it's still like something I believe people need. And I want to, but I don't, it's just there. And that was technically my first book. And that was all fully downloaded to me. And I don't know why, there's something that won't let me move forward to get that book out, which I actually feel that book is more important than even my other books. My other books are more like specific to dating. This is more like about reinventing yourself on a number of levels.
Yes. When you were saying that, I was actually getting the download of, because it's such a personal journey for you, it is like this, like you will be cracked wide open and you're not sure if you want that can opener to crack you open yet. Yeah, and it's such a powerful journey that when you do decide to allow yourself to be cracked open, you will be pouring into the world in such a way that you won't even understand the power behind it, because it's your journey, but there's so much power behind that book, and I can feel it.
Oh, thank
you.
When
you're ready, the universe will be ready. Well, the universe is ready. What's going to happen is when you are finally ready, which you will be, and it's coming, and I believe it's 2026, you will open up, and the universe is going to be like, okay, girl, we got you. Here we go.
Okay. I'll be ready for it, Rhonda. Yeah. I got goosebumps. Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So my other 2 books, the first one I came up with, Stop Being a Bitch and Get a Boyfriend, is it's a combo. It was kind of something I would say to myself periodically, because I think I was extra hard on men. I think one thing I've really learned from this business is to have more of an understanding of men and what they go through. Because as women, we just see it through our own eyes. And with matchmaking, I get to see behind the scenes from both people's perspectives, you know? So then I also noticed women going out with my clients or women that I was dealing with through the database, and they were doing things not necessarily being a bitch. That's one aspect. Sometimes we can be like that. But then sometimes we get caught up where we're too this or too picky, or we're too this or we're too that. And we're great, amazing women when we're on our own. But as soon as a guy comes to the picture, we do these things that sabotage our best efforts, you know, shoot us in the foot. So that was that book. And then the most recent book is called The Great Manhunt. And basically that's based on, it's a blueprint and roadmap based on essentially how to gain access to great, amazing guys that are hiding in plain sight on the dating apps. But you have to know how to navigate, because the dating apps are complicated these days. And I love talking about dating apps. I love talking about dating apps. And I study it like over and over. And, you know, again, I'm like a mad scientist. But so the book is really about strategies and techniques to level up your look, to call in better men, and then learn how to pre-qualify and create this funnel for yourself so that you go from not knowing what you're doing on the dating apps to dating the best men.
Oh, there you beautiful.
Go. Thank you.
Wow. Okay. We have a lot more to talk about around that topic and many other topics. I think it's a great time now that we dive into the angel card reading. Are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
Okay, let's go. Now, before we jumped on, we had the chance of chatting a little bit, and you decided which cards to pull from the deck. And I'm super excited because I had both of these cards in my mind, and I knew which one I liked more, and you chose it. So I didn't want to influence in any way. Okay, let's see what Spirit has to say. Are you on stage anytime soon?
No,
are you going on or on stage?
Not that I know of.
I think a speaking engagement is coming up. I do. I can.
Thank you.
I can literally see you on stage, and it's like almost like it's not a runway, but it's like a almost like a runway. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's clothing, but it could be clothing. But you are, whether you're an MC or a guest keynote speaker, you're on stage and you are sharing with the audience a piece of your journey. And I believe that this is going to start where your book's going to start coming into play, your very first book. So that's kind of cool. You'll have to let me know when you're on stage. And it's somewhere warm, whether it be Arizona or somewhere warm, because you're in like almost like a short sleeve shirt of some sort. It's absolutely gorgeous. Got these gorgeous cream colored pants. And anyway, that's what I see. Okay, let's see what Spirit has to say. So the card is called Mirror.
Okay.
Who or what is triggering you? And when I actually see this card, I don't see it as someone triggering you or something triggering you. What I see is that you are looking in the mirror and your reflection is almost triggering you. It's like you're afraid to look into that mirror, into that water, and see the reflection, because you have come a long way. Your journey started out a little bit rough, and it was in that roughness that you're still kind of seeing it, but it's not there anymore. So when you look, you are kind of looking at your past, thinking it's your present and your future, and it is totally not. Your present and your future are something that is the present and future that you are experiencing now and to come is something that is so revolutionary and so so captivating and the heart. It's nothing to do with it has to do with romance, but it has to do with romance for yourself, romance of within. So when you are looking and it's reflecting, remember all the beauty.
Okay.
All your beauty is reflecting back.
Okay.
And
Thank you.
it is such a gorgeous card that you also have spirit guides. I see an eye. And to me, that represents you are being watched over, you're being cared for, you're being guided on a journey. Oh yes, it is definitely, it's love for within. You are about to change people's lives in ways that you did not see coming.
Whoa, I love that. I do love that. Thank you,
Yeah.
Rhonda. That's beautiful. Thank you.
You're welcome. That is gorgeous. I cannot wait to watch as this journey, this new side of your journey unfolds. And
Okay.
the matchmaking is something that is leading you into it. However,
Sure.
this new part of it is going to be something that you just like I said before, you bust wide open and there is no stopping you at all.
I love that.
And
And
it is
I've always felt that way. So you're right on the money there. I've known that the matchmaking is a conduit to even something bigger. So it's so fun saying that. You're right. You're right on it.
Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. On that note, what nugget would you have for someone, whether it be matchmaking or the other side, the crack your side wide open side? What nuggets would you have for someone that's either listening or watching?
Well, I guess I don't know what's like. Give me something more specific.
Sure. Okay. So if somebody's okay, what if you could leave a statement for somebody and have that statement impact them, whether it's been something you've said all along or something new that has just come to your head,
Right.
what would that be?
I think stay open to the possibilities. Stay open to the possibilities. And I think that goes for everything in your life. I think, especially as we get older, we get more narrow and narrower and less open-minded. And honestly, the more open to possibilities and magic showing up and miracles happening, and just the more open-minded we are, is really the key, I think, to living a really exceptional life. That's what I would say. Yeah.
That is beautiful. That is yeah, and Spirit's going, yeah. Yes. Wow.
Because
You are so filled with this energy. My goodness.
Because even I notice matchmaking, I just had this conversation this morning with a guy who was talking about his guy friend who also wanted to sign up. They both want to sign up to work with me, but the guy friend that I met first, he's like hesitating, and he said, and this guy, the friend, said, that's what he does. He like holds on to the handrails and is nervous to make a decision. And, and I've seen it in my matchmaking, those men who show up and they're nervous and they can't just, I like to say, get in the roller coaster, put your hands in the air and trust. When they do that, I have great luck with them. But when they show up and they're like worried about everything and they're holding on, it messes up all the magic for sure. And I think the same thing when I'm helping the women with my coaching on the dating apps. If they're like, oh, there's no good men on the dating apps, I can't help somebody that doesn't have an open mind. I cannot.
I hear you. Yeah. I've met some people myself that are on the roller coaster, hands wide up or right up, and they're like, yep, let's go on this journey. And I've also met those that are very closed off, and it is difficult. It really is difficult to have. You want to help everybody.
You do. Energetically, though, you got to be open. And, I'll tell you a fun story of like, even sort of my first manifesting story was when, again, it takes us back to Memphis. And so I was obsessed with Los Angeles as a kid. I told you that. But what I didn't tell you is I was also obsessed with Rod Stewart and Scott Baio. I just obsessed. all over my wallpaper, Rod Stewart, Scott Baio, everything. Okay. So when I was 18,
I think we all had Scott Baio on our walls. I do. I think we all did.
so when I was 18, I won this contest on the radio in Memphis. It was a contest that said, we're going to name some lyrics to a Rod Stewart song. You have to be the correct caller. You have to name the song, but then your name went in a hat with a bunch of other people, and they pulled my name. I just knew I was going to win it. I knew it in every part of my being. I had never been on a plane. I'd never left Memphis. And here I was dreaming about Los Angeles and Rod Stewart. And I win this contest. And I got to come out to Los Angeles and stay for the weekend and meet Rod Stewart. And that is where I was like, I'm in LA. I've got to make connections. And that was kind of what motivated me when I went back to Memphis to look for that ticket counter for Dell. It all went hand in hand. But, I think if we really listen, it really does guide us exactly where we need to be, for sure.
Oh, I love that. I love that. Well, thank you so much, Gina. Go ahead.
Can I tell you one other thing? This is one of the coolest stories. Let me tell you. Okay. And then you can get the hook and jerk me off stage. But this is like one of the first times where talk about intuition. This is really probably the most mind-blowing. So late 80s, 89, 90, I was in LA. I was a flight attendant now. And it was 6:00 in the morning. I was leaving to go on a flight. It was dark outside. And I had on my flight attendant uniform. And this is a scary story, but it turns out okay. Okay. So I was heading out to my car. It was dark out. And I was putting all my luggage in my trunk. And nobody was out, at that time of morning. And I used to think if somebody was going to get you, they'd jump out of the bushes. So when I saw a car coming down the street, I thought, oh, good. People are out driving out. Well, that car stopped right about like here across the street. And then I could see 3 heads in the car. And one of the guys jumped out. He's running to me. Okay. And he's yelling at me in Spanish. I didn't speak Spanish. And he pushed me down on the grass. Okay. Nothing happens here. Right. So anyway, and he's yelling at me in Spanish. I'm saying, no, no, no. And all of a sudden I hear a voice as clear as day, Rhonda. It said, stop fighting him and let him take your purse. And it's clear. And then that's what I did. I went like this. I stopped and he took my purse, got up, got in the car, boom, off they went. Yeah. Jeez. Talk about listening to your intuition. That was a voice that was very clear.
That was in the most critical time that you needed it.
Yep, for sure. So anyway.
Well, thank you for sharing that. Wow. I love that. I mean, I didn't love that for you, but I love that you experienced that voice.
And once that happens, then you're a believer, right? You're always a believer that those voices, man, if you listen to them and you really follow them, it won't steer you wrong, I don't think.
That's right. Never. Well, on that note, thank you so much, Gina, for sharing your insights of your business and your intuitive connection. I absolutely love that. Absolutely love that. Where can our listeners and viewers find you?
So a couple places. So you can go to my main website, which is my name, ginahendricks.com. Or if you want to see all my advice videos, then you go to social media. You can go to Instagram or TikTok and look me up at Matchmaker Gina Hendricks. And you'll find me.
Nice. Oh, love it. I'm sure you're going to get a whole bunch of other new subscribers because this has been fascinating. Absolutely fascinating. So thank you again, Gina, for joining me today. And thank you, everyone, for listening to this episode and getting plugged into the Rhonda Effect. If you like what you heard, be sure to hit that subscribe button and never miss an episode because you don't want to miss an episode. This is getting too juicy. And if you're on Instagram or YouTube, dial in and stay connected in real time. This is always a fun place to find me outside the podcast. And yes, you can DM me anytime you want to learn about my intuitive coaching, where we dive into your higher self and finding what lights up your inner wisdom. So until next time, stay plugged in. Thank you for tuning into the Rhonda Effect. I'm Rhonda Arnott, and I am honored to have shared this journey with you today. As we wrap up this episode, remember that the power of intuition and the connection with spirit are always within you, guiding and empowering you. In this age of intuition, it's more important than ever to trust your inner wisdom and embrace the unseen forces that can propel you to new heights. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and most importantly, keep listening to that inner voice that knows the way. If you found today's episode inspiring, I encourage you to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with all your friends who are ready to awaken their own intuitive powers. And if you're looking for more ways to deepen your connection with spirit and step into your full potential, head on over to Instagram, find me at rhonda.arnett, and send me a DM. Until then, stay tuned, stay connected, and remember, the magic of intuition is always at your fingertips. This is Rhonda Arnett, and you've been listening to The Rhonda Effect. See you next time.